Oh, hey, it actually worked this week. It actually worked, and my audio readout is actually telling me things. It's a miracle. Hello, I'm Amanda Call, and I'm going to draw some things, and you're gonna get to watch. So I'm continuing the series that I've been working on. Drawing new and interesting animal skulls that I've never drawn before, and I'm trying to figure out the way that they're shaped. Because some of them are weird. I have my reference image up on my other monitor, just off to my left and perpendicular to what you can see. This is a really weird one, so it's got some really weird features. We'll see how this goes. It needs to be bigger. Whoa, this skull is a really weird, complex shape. You got a curve that kind of goes like this. I don't think I've ever done a lagomorph skull before. I'm not convinced I have it 100% right yet. It's very weird. I don't think... We do not want that. We do not want little blue smudgies all over our picture that's eventually going to be colored things other than Color-Race blue. So I'm going to clean that off on the side here. Try to get rid of the blue smudgies. Oh, still a little bit on there. All right, that's better. Eraser crumbs everywhere. Okay. Very weird shape. I think this is not... Its eye socket's not quite right. So it's not really... There's this sort of weird shape down here. Try to find these weird shapes. Okay, yeah. All right, I'm starting to get into some somewhat familiar mammalian cranial anatomy here. Some of it less so. What's weird, there's like this weird floating piece on the eye socket. That's that center line. There's that weird floating eye socket piece on the other side. So bizarre. Clean some of that a little bit. All right, that's starting to look a little bit more like it's supposed to. I don't think I've ever drawn lagomorph skull at all before, so I'm really flying blind here and trying to figure this out. So there's this really weird it's a little bit wider down here and then narrows back up a little more and then does this really interesting kind of shape. There's like a separate plate there. Weird. And then there's this very interesting little section here on the Hare skulls, which actually was really weird trying to find like good reference because so often this part was completely missing or damaged. Or had been like, or it was like a cast and it was filled in instead of being like it is. But this is like on the side of the upper jaw here, on the nasal cavity. It had this really weird, crazy, there's this really weird, crazy, like spider webby shape where it's all open in here. That's so weird. And I'm just going to kind of make some suggestions of lines in there right now for that until I firm up the rest of around it. But it was so weird. And so often it's like what you normally see in this part of the nasal cavity, but it's also on the side. It's so crazy. Curve is going the wrong way. And the sharp, pointy teeth. All right, what do we got going on here? I think that's a little too far over because there's some other weird shapes going on over here. So we've got, let's do this. Another weird little plate there. So I am a little bit concentrating on this because I'm trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing. But if you have questions or anything during the live stream, you can always feel free to put them in the chat. I will see them eventually. It might just take me a second to notice if I'm puzzling over some weird curve of bone here. That goes a little bit more straight down. And that does not go up quite that dramatically. Goes a little more sideways like. Let's clean that up. Choose a line, Amanda. That's the line we're going with. All right, that's all looking a little bit better here. But then up here, we've got so you see a lot of really crazy structures on skulls, specifically around the jaw, because of the types of muscles and the places they need to be anchored and where they need extra strength, depending on what the creature is evolved to do with its jaw. So like dogs have this weird ridge on the back of their skull because the muscle that attaches to their mandible actually hooks all the way up there and needs a super sturdy anchor point, so they have super strong bite strength. It's crazy. I'm guessing that's what a lot of this weird shaping is down here. I don't know as much about lagomorph anatomy, but I'm guessing that's what some of these weird shapes have to do with, is having that same kind of force, but concentrated on the front where their big, sharp, pointy teeth are. Because there's some very weird shapes going on this skull. But it's really fun. This whole part of the upper jaw has such a cool waviness to it. All right, there's one of these cool holes right here. A few little pockets on the edge there. All right. Some very complicated stuff going on in here. And we've got a tooth that comes up and hooks back up here. Ah! Run away, pencil. What is happening? Okay, and we've got these weird, like, that's all one tooth, but it's got like these 3 different columns in it. It's what do you win? You don't win anything, Bryce, other than the joy of watching me work on drawing a hare skull. I think this was a snowshoe hare? No, a European hare skull. That's what you get to watch. You get to watch me be mildly confused while I figure this out, because I've never drawn this type of skull before. Oh, it's a little bit more complicated shape than that. And there's that other weird tooth on the other side. There we go. Man, I thought the dog skull took me a long time to draw. This is taking me forever. This is taking me forever because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so from up here, I've got this great big mandible. Look at that. It's got a big old hole in it back there too. I don't know why, but it does. Okay, I think that's the mandible. Pretty well done. I still need to resolve some of this. That's a little bit sketchy, so we'll keep working on that. All right, let's get back up to this weird eye socket here. Oh, I see. I see what's going on. It's got an interesting little curve to it here. Erase some of the things that I'm less convinced by. Oh, okay. This goes like that. Okay, interesting. The canine skull had a similar feature on it. Okay. Got a little bony bit up in here. I got some of this section, some of that action. I think a lot of this I'm going to kind of tone down from the reference to just visually clarify it a little bit, because the reference image, it is actually kind of hard to see where the eye socket is. It kind of loses the form a little bit, just the way that it's lit. So I'll have to take some license there to try to clarify that a little bit. I like the neat texture that it's got, though. All right. Let's clean up this cranium. Too many lines. I got some weird lumpiness going on back here. I think that's where the ears come from. Where the ears come out. It makes sense. Where there's all this weirdly shaped bone back here, and this one is kind of like tube shaped, and where it's positioned. Yeah, I'm guessing that's what that stuff is. How am I guessing? Okay. And then up in here, there's this little line. I'm gonna firm that up a little bit. Okay, I think that's pretty much it on the skull. This is all still a little bit vague in here because, yeah, I'm not sure that overworking it to death with the pencil is gonna help me much there. I think I'm gonna mostly leave that to a later stage. So now I've done the skull. Now I need to move on to the flowers. Whoops, let's get down into frame where you can see what I'm doing. All right, so that's the basic idea of where they're going to be. Now we can start doing some more detail on them. Pretty little harebells. Oh, there's some like closed blossoms too. I might put a couple of those in. Those are kind of cute. What is this? What is this gunk? Get off of there. Okay, I've got one kind of hanging out back there. That works. Okay. right. I don't know. I think maybe I just like to drive myself crazy. Amanda, what do you like to draw? Flowers and skulls. Just like some of the most complicated organic forms possible. It's fine. It's fine. Just making myself nuts. Important to remember with little like clusters of flowers especially that there are some that are in the back, not facing the front. Don't necessarily have to give them the same amount of attention, but they should be there or your flowers are going to look kind of goofy. Because flowers do not all universally face whoever's looking at them. All right, let's see. So it looks like, looking at my reference image, if we have one that's this is the tricky part, putting my flower with its little petals. It looks like it has a... Oh man, we went over this before. What is the thing in the middle? The pistil or the stamen? I don't remember. But it's got one of those long things in the middle sticking out. How many petals do they have? 1, 2... I'm seeing 4? Do they have 5? Oh, maybe they have 5. Okay, maybe I'm fine there. It's hard to tell. All right, so I think I've got the drawing done. So we've got our hare skull and our hare bells. So now we can start laying down some color. Oh, it only took me half an hour. That's not bad. What is going on? Why is my computer giving me a weird error? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm busy. All right. So what is this? This is orange. That's not what I want. I've got willow. Come back. I guess my desk isn't level, huh? I've got yellow. I'm going to switch back over to my hare skull. I'm going to try to find all my colors now so that I'm not digging for these later while I'm actually trying to draw. Baked Earth, I was looking for you last time. Found you this time. Mustard. Let's see. Do we have any blue and green tones? We've got some green tones. Where's my... That's not the green I want. Sepia is a little bit like a cool brown. But what I'm looking for is... Where did you go? Is that it? Ah, that's what I'm looking for. Iron green. I love this color as a blending color. I like the depth that it adds when you blend it with other colors. It's like kind of a dull gray, kind of gross green on its own, but it adds so much to shadows. I love it. Hello. I have just finished my pencil drawing and I'm going to start adding colors. That's what's up. All right, I'm going to do a really light coating of yellow all over for that yellowy skull business. All right, really light thing of yellow. Mustard is like a dark yellow, and it's also kind of dull, and I need to sharpen it. All right, sharpened. Yay. So somewhere where I want a slightly more intense yellowy color. Up on the top here is pretty yellowy. I'm seeing some pink tones now that I'm looking at it too. So all through here, I have to add some pink tones. Yeah. Huh. I'm still going very lightly here because I don't want this to turn into like taxi cab yellow. I don't want it to be like super duper yellow and then be upset. Build this up a little bit. All right, I'm gonna do most of my basic shading with my Baked Earth. Baked Earth, where were you last time? I needed you. You abandoned me. All right. Start getting some of the form described here. All the weird little bones and shapes. Well, as I try to upend my whole setup here, apparently. Oh, this stuff is so complicated. This is easily the most complicated skull I've tried to draw so far. Yikes. All right. This is going to be pretty dark in here. Because again, I'm going to kind of push this eye socket a little bit more than my reference images, just because I feel the reference image is a little visually confusing. So I'm going to try to push it a little further. Let's see if I can at least get the skull all blocked before time. We shall see. This is taking a little bit. Who knew bunny skulls were so difficult? All right, I think down in here, we're gonna do that needs to be a little more yellow, I think, this area. Add a little bit more. Right around here, I think I want a little more yellow too, actually. All right. Where is this? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? I got lost for a second. I got lost. All right, I'm gonna start defining some of this crazy stuff in here. It is absolutely like some crazy lace work of bone. It's so weird and I love it. All right, that's precisely how crazy it looks. I don't even know if I made it crazy enough, honestly. It's about as crazy as I can manage, I think. All right, this is all the inside of the jaw, so it needs to be darker because it is pushed back. Need to make it clear. Little like divot in here. And this area is all a lot darker. And then less so over here. This is all very weird. These shapes are so weird. All right. I think it's going to do it for this pass for this. Before I forget, I do think there needs to be a little bit of pink tone over here. Not a lot, just a little. Just a tiny bit. Just seeing some pink tones. I want to make sure they make it in. Yeah, that'll do. Just the tiniest, lightest touch of pink. All right, what do we have here? We have willow, which is like a medium brown to deepen up some of these shadows a little bit. Oh yeah, this one needs like just a little bit of... Oh, there's a little pink in there too. All right, we'll add a little pink in here. Just a little. This skull is taking me forever. Try to push some of the definition here. I think I need a little more yellow over here. I think there's a little bit more yellow tone going on in here. So we're going to add a little bit over there. All right, and again, I'm kind of pushing the eye socket a little bit. To help it read a little better than it does in the reference image. Okay. Let's see. So I'm gonna do a little bit with the bark. There it is, bark. It's a dark, cool brown. I'm just gonna pick a couple little spots to really bump up with that, where I want it very dark. Just a couple spots in this weird situation. All right, where else do I want that? I don't want to use much of this, just a little bit. This little spot here is actually very dark. Right under the line where the top jaw meets the mandible. Okay, now I'll do a little bit in the nasal cavity over here. All right, and now I want to use my iron green because this is so much fun. Use that over here. Other places where I want a little bit of that green tone. Down in here. A little bit of it over here. A little bit of it in here. A little of it up there. I'm excited for how that'll come out. Hopefully I have not completely destroyed this whole thing by adding this iron green. I don't think I have, but you know, things happen. So there's that. What else do I want to add? I want to add just a tiny bit of, nope, not that blue. This blue, nice light. Well, it's called dark aquamarine, but it's a pretty light blue. A little bit of that down here, a little bit of that down here. And you know what? I think that's going to do it on the skull. So we'll see how that turns out. I say that, and then I just realized I lied. I wanted to add a couple more little things. We'll see how that turns out when we activate it with water next week. So I'm going to start working on the flowers. I'm not sure how far I will get while I do the end of stream wrap up stuff where because we're almost to an hour and I usually only do these for about an hour because it's not good to sit for more than like an hour. You should get up and stretch and get a glass of water. These are important things. I think those are the greens I'm going to go with here. So, in case you didn't know, I'm Amanda Call. This is my channel where I do these art streams every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Very frequently, I'm on here working on my webcomic, Age of Night, which you can read for free at ageofnight.com. I upload a new page every Wednesday. That's usually what I'm doing. Obviously, that's not what I'm doing right now because I'm close to the end of the current chapter of Age of Night, so I can't really work on it on the stream because it would be too spoilery. So you just have to indulge me while I draw a bunch of skulls and flowers. Sorry, that's what's happening. I will eventually draw more Age of Night pages on the stream. Like I said, you can read the whole thing for free at ageofnight.com. That's ageofnight.com. You can also become a patron at patreon.com/ageofnight. That way you get all your comic pages a week early. You get some of my other videos that I do on here early. Also, just if you like to watch me working on this stuff, you should subscribe so that you don't miss any of the live streams. Also a cool idea. What else? You can find me on Twitter at Age of Night and Instagram at Amanda Call Art. I think that's all the things at the moment. Oh, nope, there's another thing. I am currently a part of, there's a Kickstarter running from Jim Hammer and Sons Gaming. It's the Deck of Dynamic Dungeons. I'm doing character art for that game, so you should check it out. It's like a modular dungeon card deck system, so you don't have to prepare a dungeon, you just kind of deal it out. And I'm doing the art for the character cards, so very cool. You should check it out. That is currently running. I think that's everything now. Where'd my purple go? Violet. Okay. Harebells are a lovely soft purple color, so I'll just do this very softly. And it's going to be a lot of pink on there to help get it to be just the right color. But I think we'll have to work on that a little bit next time, because I think I'm pretty much at the end of my hour here. So I have to say thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out with me and saying hi in the chat. I always appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for this week. So I will see you guys. Well, that's what we got so far. This is what we'll pick up with next week. I will see you all next time. Thanks. And bye.